Welcome to episode 5 of Bedtime Stories for Grown-Ups, a podcast that is meant to be your guide into dreamland. Hopefully, you'll never hear the end of it. Once upon a time, if you were lucky, someone told you bedtime stories. Maybe someone read you books, or the same favorite book over and over. Or maybe someone made up your bedtime stories, telling you nonsensical things until you closed your eyes and drifted into sleep. These bedtime stories are the whimsical made-up kind, little snippets from dreamland to guide you there. There is no plot to follow, no sense to make of anything, just a sequence of images from beyond consciousness of day to help you drift, let go, and fall blissfully into sleep. We are in a big castle made of stone with many stairways and hidden passageways. There is a large gathering of people from other worlds. Everyone has an animal totem with them. One handsome young man with a long, thick braid has a small black rat with him. The rat is clinging to the man's braid. It seems very friendly and curious. There is an important message about some sort of prophecy that involves 139 steps. What does that mean, 139 steps? I don't know, but there is also a stern warning about being careful around the people that you don't know if you can trust. And also, a reminder to be especially careful around the scary creatures from other realms who can slip through and suck the life right out of you if you're not paying attention. This older British couple thought they had found a good way to transition. They had nailed their chairs to the wall by the front door, and they planned to sit in those chairs that had been nailed to the wall. But they had made a mistake. They had nailed her favorite chair right in front of the front door, which opened inward, so they wouldn't be going anywhere now. They would have to take the chairs down and find another wall to nail them to. We have volunteered to take part in some sort of behavioral study. Some of the scenarios the researchers are describing to us are quite disturbing. We also have to participate in a daily scavenger hunt. We have been here for 2 weeks and it is almost time to leave. Now they have some of the results back. Some of the images and video footage from the behavioral study. We all gather around and the lead researcher holds up several thin sheets of film with video coverage of the whole thing. We are all trying to catch glimpses of ourselves. We do come across as very genuine. They have captured the emotional reactions on the faces of the participants. It turns out that this is what they were after all along, having video footage and images of real people reacting honestly to the disturbing scenarios they are describing. This was some pretty compelling stuff. We hope they don't end up using all of this for commercial profit. A little boy keeps following us home. His name is Abel. What an unusual name. Who named him Abel? At least they didn't name him Cain. Sometimes if you look carefully, you can find a hidden doorway that leads to another place. There are even some townhouses with one door in one city and one door into another. You could have been using the kitchen door in Vancouver for years, and then suddenly you discover a front door that you didn't know existed. And when you open it, you are in Montreal. These are the best kind of townhouses, the ones with a portal to another city. Not far from the townhouse is a big medieval cultural center. It is kind of Gothic, lots of stone. It is beside the beautiful aquamarine blue river that seems to run down the front steps. This is where a lot of people take their holidays. It is really pretty and well designed. The water is always full of children laughing and playing. The water runs fast, but it is clean and predictable, and it is so blue because there's not much of anything organic in it. Sometimes the water runs backwards. There's a big open rocky area in the nearby canyon. This is where we are when the earthquake hits. It is a big one, and we are all thrown to the ground. It lasts for about a minute. It is hard to hold on to anything, but then it stops, and we are okay. But a huge rift has opened up. There is a deep chasm where the earth has shifted several feet at least. We should be prepared for aftershocks, you know. There could be many more. We are at the Fringe Festival again. It is a one-man show. It is about circuses or carnivals or something. The actor is standing in the center of the stage, and there are red carts from some sort of carnival ride spinning slowly around in the background. The character is wearing a serious clown face. We aren't really paying much attention to what he is saying, because none of it makes any sense. When it seems that he is finally coming to the end, there are some loud machine noises off stage, and everyone is expecting some new carnival ride to enter along the tracks stage right, or something. But that was it. The end. There is a light smattering of embarrassed applause. The woman who is performing in this venue next had been in the audience. She is saying that the strange clown act did not make any sense at all. It wasn't even poetry. We said we hadn't been paying attention to the words, or to the ambience. She had taken notes to try to make some sense out of it. Her notebook is a black scrapbook, and she writes with a silver pen. The next show was some sort of variety show. The woman we had been speaking to was on first. She did a song and dance number with puppets. It was very upbeat compared to the serious clown show. so we stayed to watch part of the next act. Two older men entered the stage. One of the men was very, very old, and the other had been sitting near us in the audience at the last show. The really old guy had a horse puppet on a stick that was the character he was playing. It was a very good horse puppet, really realistic looking. And the actor was not trying to pretend that he was not the voice of the horse. If you watched the horse, the illusion worked. This is what they were talking about: acting, illusions, make-believe. The horse was saying that there are no actors, really. They are all just people imagining themselves as specific characters in given situations and doing their best with it. The other guy was arguing that this is what we call acting. However we get there, the goal is to make the illusion work, to inhabit the character so that is who the audience sees. We wandered away to look at an art exhibit and wondered if maybe we should have stayed to listen to the rest of that conversation. We are walking back to the place we bought the tickets. No one is there. We notice what seems to be a jar of vodka with a toilet paper tube in it. And wait a minute. Are those wires? A bomb. We are running as fast as we can out the side door. It takes ages to get there, but we make it outside. And then we hear people coming back from other performances. We are trying to yell, a bomb, stay back, but we are having trouble making any sound at all. Finally, we manage to shout at them and they stop well away. Now we are defusing the bomb. It is made of vodka and gasoline and mustard. A big vat of mustard. All it needed was a spark. There was a long fuse to allow whoever was going to set it off the time to get away. We are trying to keep two of the long fuses apart. Suddenly the mustard kind of explodes, as though something big and heavy had just fallen into the vat and displaced all that mustard. It doesn't hurt anyone. It is just very messy. It wasn't a very good bomb, but it was still rather startling when it went off. We are running to escape the thunder and lightning. We are running down a bank and two strikes hit two trees. One of the trees explodes and there is a person up there. We saw her. Is she okay? She might have disappeared in the explosion. Everything is very chaotic, and we are struggling even to just open our eyes. When we finally manage to open our eyes, we are in another dream. Now we are in a dream within a dream. At least the chaos has calmed down. It has something to do with the female gaze. We've all heard about the male gaze, but no one ever talks about the female gaze. Why not? What does it mean? Maybe we should do some research and write a book about it when we wake up. Next time we leave the house, we are in Africa. When we round the corner on the road toward the village, the people are staring. We have just appeared out of thin air. Where did we come from? We're not quite sure how we got here. Maybe it was through another hidden door. We are lying outside under the stars, a group of us, mostly family. We are looking up at the sky in wonder. It really is beautiful, but it is starting to look more and more like a sheet of ice. It looks like part of the upper atmosphere is freezing over. Oh dear, this is not good. We are in for a big shock. In the morning there is chaos. Everyone is panicking and trying to get somewhere else before the big freeze sinks in. We are part of the FBI coordinated evacuation response. The women and children are sitting in the front of the train. We are being checked in and given ID necklaces, which are also tracking devices. We're feeling a little nervous about this. The guy checking us in asks if we can do night watches. We say yes, no problem. We are going somewhere, but we don't know where. There are abandoned cars everywhere. There is some looting going on, but most people are remaining calm. They can still use money, and the shops still have some goods to sell. It won't last though. Best to get out. Some people are heading west. Look, there are still people sunning themselves by the swimming pool as though nothing is wrong. We see some friends of ours. They are heading for the woods. They think we are crazy to be wearing the necklaces with the tracking devices that the FBI gave us. Maybe we are. There are some thugs who have commandeered a big truck. The truck has some conversion units on the side. Someone dares to ask them if he can try going through one of the conversion units. They say, yeah, why not? A volunteer guinea pig. He goes in the top and the thugs don't even notice him come out the bottom. He comes out like a little embryonic dinosaur. He is tiny and they don't notice him swimming away. We see him, but we are rooting for him to get away. The thing is, he is a tiny embryonic dinosaur now, but we can tell he is going to become huge, a huge dinosaur. The thugs have forgotten all about him. They have really short attention spans. Before we carry on, we stop to watch a little toddler playing in a band. She is on the drums. There is a piano player and a couple of violinists too. They sound really good for little toddlers dressed like ballerinas. But the drum player and the pianist are not really into it. They just want to play. So the violinists carry on with a violin concert, while the toddlers play like toddlers do behind them. It does feel kind of surreal. What are we doing watching a toddler concert when Rome is burning, so to speak? More like Rome is freezing over. In the big old house, some of us have already had our souls sucked out of us. It is hard to keep track of all the children. One of the boys is sharing some cherries with his sister. Where did you get that? Someone gave it to him. There was an abundance of cherries this year. We go past an open door, and oh no, there's the mother, partially disemboweled on the bed, and we witness her soul being sucked out of her. We are not supposed to see that, but someone left the door open. There are rooms with bloody hand and footprints all over the walls and ceilings. Then we open a door at the top of the stairs, and all of those who have already lost their souls have been cleaned up, and they are lying on mattresses on the floor. This is the waiting room. The room is getting crowded. There is the little girl we had lost track of. She is getting a book off the shelf to read while she waits. And now here comes the mother. She's all cleaned up, and she's leading one of the other little ones by the hand. Are we the only ones left around here with a soul? They all have to spend 8 days in stasis in this room, and then they are counting on us to burn the house down with them in it after the 8 days has passed. We are crying. We feel sad. We are trying to say goodbye through our sobs, but they all seem quite resolved and resigned. They seem to know what to expect. If they don't get burned up with the house, they might become vampires. And what about that little boy? We are pretty sure he had his soul sucked out of him too. We saw bloody prints all over his room. So why isn't he here? Why hasn't he come to this waiting room with the rest of them? Conflicting powers, like buffeting winds, are scattering people and making them desperate. Thank you for listening. Sweet dreams.